Tonight on CBC Vancouver News.
There's not a plan, there's not a route, there's not a budget.
The politics of a possible pipeline. As we await more details of a potential energy deal between Alberta and Ottawa, BC politicians weigh in.
If you're a Liberal from coastal British Columbia, you should be very deeply concerned.
Plus,
it focuses on frontline services, strengthens our fiscal foundation,
a property tax freeze and cuts to some services. Vancouver passes its draft budget for next year.
People all have legitimate fear for what this budget might mean because they are being denied the insights and knowledge.
And
oh, there it is! Oh my gosh!
whale watching. How BC homeowners are helping keep marine mammals safe.
We are in their waters. It's not the other way around.
This is CBC Vancouver News.
Hello, I'm Dan Burritt. Thanks for joining us. CBC News is learning more details about a potential deal on energy between the federal government and Alberta. Prime Minister Mark Carney is expected to unveil a memorandum of understanding in Calgary later this week. It's intended to facilitate development, including a possible pipeline to BC's coast. But as David Thurton explains, a deal is far from done.
Minister after minister, avoiding questions about a deal that seems to be imminent.
Do you want to talk about this MOU?
And from the Prime Minister, not a word until question period.
On Thursday, he'll make one of his grand announcements, waving around a meaningless so-called Memorandum of Understanding.
The Memorandum of Understanding that we're negotiating with Alberta creates necessary conditions, but not sufficient conditions.
In other words, Carney is suggesting that the MOU could create conditions needed to build a pipeline, but there's no guarantee that the pipeline will be built. Sources tell CBC News the oil tanker ban on the West Coast could be lifted, and some clean electricity regulations could be suspended. That's contingent on some things, including Alberta embracing industrial carbon pricing, plus buy-in from Indigenous communities and the BC government.
I am absolutely confident that till those conditions are met, there will be no pipeline.
The business case for building an oil pipeline from Alberta to the West Coast, according to BC, is weak.
Everyone acknowledges there's not a real project yet. There's not a proponent, there's not a plan, there's not a route, there's not a budget.
And if this pipeline is too expensive, nobody's going to be prepared to build it.
What could be building a pipeline of discontent?
It remains that the Prime Minister engage in that discussion process without notifying or involving the Premier of British Columbia, and this is deeply concerning.
Right now, if you're a Liberal from coastal British Columbia, you should be very deeply concerned.
Behind the scenes, sources say that BC Liberal MPs are angry after they learned about the broad strokes of the deal through the media. Now, a source also tells CBC News that the Energy Minister will brief those MPs tomorrow. David Thurton, CBC News, Ottawa.
After hearing from hundreds of speakers and debating for hours, Vancouver City Council has now passed its draft budget. This includes a property tax freeze, $50 million more for police, and cuts to several departments. Our municipal affairs reporter Justin McElroy was at City Hall for the vote. Justin, a lot of debate, but it appears the mayor got his zero means zero budget approved?
Yeah, that's right, Dan. Ken Sim talking for years about how he thought property taxes in the city were too high, that the increases each year to balance the budget were higher than inflation and need to be curbed. Well, he got his wish this time around. The draft budget was passed by council on 7-4 party lines this afternoon. All 6 ABC councillors and Sim voting in favor, the 4 opposition councillors against. As you said, it includes $50 million more for the Vancouver Police, cuts to places like arts, culture, planning, and sustainability in order to balance that out. But it's the budget before the election, and he'll now be able to show Vancouverites, if you take a look at this chart, that after years of property taxes going up, in his final year, he was able to put it straight down to zero. Now, whether everyone in the city likes that or not is another question, but the mayor believes that this is a budget that he can bring to the people.
It focuses on frontline services, strengthens our fiscal foundation, and gives our team members the clarity they need to run an efficient and responsive government. And most importantly, it provides relief to the hundreds of thousands of Vancouverites who have been impacted by the ongoing affordability crisis.
Of course, not everyone thought that. Many people who spoke up at council over the past 2 weeks talked about the cuts to those departments, said that it would impact their communities, said that with crime at a 23-year low, it wasn't necessarily the time to be giving $50 million more to police. But ABC had a majority. Sim had said for months this is what he wanted, and now he has that draft budget passed.
And as we said, hundreds of speakers, 600 plus, in fact, hours of discussion on this. Did that change anything?
On the big things, no. What was put forward in the tables in terms of the amount that was going to be spent in different places and the increases and decreases, nothing there. But a couple things did change. Park Board was going to increase some fees for community centers and programs by about 5% or so. An amendment was brought forward by ABC to cover that $800,000. In addition, there was a rally beforehand at City Hall with a bunch of parents bringing their babies to protest the proposal of maybe baby change areas being something and vandalized areas that wouldn't be repaired in the future, that they were going to transition away from repairing. Amendment in the budget as well, stating explicitly that they wouldn't allow that to happen, that they would continue to repair those. So some things that people came up to City Hall to speak about, council did change their minds or tweak things a little bit, but substantively what the mayor wanted a month ago when this was put forward, he was able to get.
All right, Justin McElroy, thanks very much. The family of a Kelowna woman allegedly killed by her ex-husband was in court earlier as charges against him were upgraded to first-degree murder. As Katie DeRosa reports, a protest in Victoria, meanwhile, was calling for more attention to intimate partner violence.
That's agonizing.
Bailey McCourt's aunt describes the long wait for charges against her niece's alleged killer to be upgraded from second-degree murder to first-degree. McCourt's ex-husband, James Plover, appeared briefly in Kelowna court by video. The charge upgrade means, if convicted, Plover would be sentenced to life in prison without the chance of parole for 25 years, instead of 10.
I don't think any family of a murder victim can fathom. Can fathom the thought of having to go and see and fight for their loved one's murderer to stay in prison after 10 years.
The July killing of the 32-year-old Kelowna mother has sparked calls for tougher bail laws for intimate partner violence.
We're not stopping until we see that change.
Plover was convicted in a separate domestic violence case that same day, freed on bail hours before McCourt's death. Sentencing for that case will happen on Thursday. McCourt's family is pushing for changes to Canada's criminal code. If Bailey's law is passed, anyone who kills their intimate partner would automatically be charged with first-degree murder. Outside the BC legislature, McCourt's name is among 15 women allegedly killed this year by men, some of them their ex-partners. Organized by Vancouver Rape Relief, it's a quiet protest against the violence that keeps happening.
We want them to not be able to walk free and follow through with their threat of killing women.
Last month, the federal government introduced sweeping bail reforms. If passed, they will make it harder for those accused of intimate partner violence to be released while awaiting trial. BC's Attorney General says even without those reforms, she's seeing a difference in provincial courtrooms.
We've had a few recent cases where perpetrators of partner violence were held and not released to cause further harm.
McCourt's family, though, wants Bailey's law to be passed as soon as possible. They say it's a matter of life and death. Katie DeRosa, CBC News, Victoria.
The U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission has issued a major safety warning for popular e-bike brand batteries that are also sold here in Canada. The commission says the batteries are responsible for 31 fires and pose a risk of serious injury, even death. The CBC's Troy Charles joins us with more. Troy, which e-bike company is involved here?
Yes, good evening, Dan. The company is Rad Power Bikes, which are a very popular brand of e-bikes. They're based out of Seattle, but they have a showroom here in Vancouver. There are many Rad bikes on our roads right now. You've assuredly seen them, often cargo bikes with space for children to ride on the back. Now, the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission is warning consumers to immediately stop using two specific lithium-ion batteries for RAD e-bikes. The model number of the two batteries in question are RP1304 and HLRP S1304. The warning says the batteries can unexpectedly ignite, explode, and catch fire, especially when the battery or the harness has been exposed to water. The model number is printed on a label on the back of the battery. These batteries were sold with 9 different models of RAD e-bikes. If your RAD bike batteries do not have the aforementioned model numbers, then you are in the clear. And to clarify, this warning only issued in the U.S. so far, not in Canada.
And Troy, what does the company involved have to say?
Dan, RAD says they firmly stand behind their batteries and strongly disagree with the CPSC's characterization of certain RAD batteries as defective or unsafe. RAD says they offered multiple good faith solutions to address the agency's concerns, including offering consumers an opportunity to upgrade to their newer model Safe Shield batteries at a substantial discount. Now, we don't know exactly how many individual batteries are a part of this warning, but it's enough for RAD to say that complying with a recall would immediately put them out of business. Dan.
Troy Charles, thanks very much. Advocates say Chinese seniors in Burnaby do not have access to programs offered in their mother tongue. It's common for older people to lose their second language as they get older. And as Pinky Wong reports, supporters say first language programming is pivotal to keeping those people in their own homes.
A break for caregivers and an opportunity to break the isolation for seniors. In Cantonese, volunteers are teaching seniors fall prevention exercises in an adult day program in Burnaby. For Fion Wong, being communicated in her mother tongue makes all the difference as she's facing medical challenges.
My wife, the brain is getting worse, then she cannot catch everything. Also, some activity and some eating is different with the Chinese people.
For caretakers, the program offers a break.
Even just one day each week, so it just gives me some me time.
Gaia Community Care says 20% of some 44,000 seniors in Burnaby are Chinese.
Some of them are socially isolated. They usually stay at home alone.
Seniors with dementia are more likely to lose their secondary language as their illness progresses. That's why Advocate says it's crucial to offer language-appropriate programs.
It builds trust and reduces anxiety, and they have the sense of belonging.
Yip says more than 200 seniors are on a wait list to join their program as they advocate for government funding. Fraser Health currently runs 21-day programs for older adults across Metro Vancouver, including one that offers services in Punjabi. Fraser Health says whenever possible, their staff who run day programs offer language services in Cantonese and Mandarin. In Richmond, this adult day center offers services 5 days a week, funded by Vancouver Coastal Health.
Every day we have different languages. Tuesday and the Thursday is only Cantonese speaking day.
Everything they do, I enjoy.
This advocate says culturally diverse programs are needed.
Seniors, when they age, they revert back to their own language. By the year of 2038, 1 in 4 Canadians are over the age of 65. It is important that we invest in the community.
Pinky Wong, CBC News, Richmond.
Darius Madavi is here with a first look at the weather. What's coming up?
More moisture has been feeding into the coast, especially for the more southern areas, but it has been moving further and further south, and that is expected to continue into tomorrow when we see some drying up. I do want to highlight a bit of a change to this map that we've been showing for a while now, Dan, which is this large gray area, which shows where we don't have radar coverage. So to give you a better idea of where we don't actually have precipitation versus where we just don't have coverage, the problem is for BC, we have so many mountains that a lot of the places that are meant to have radar coverage based on these big circles don't really have it because the radar just bounces right off the mountains and then we don't get coverage there. So a bit of a complication there, but at least if you're in one of those gray areas, you know that you'll never get that radar coverage. With that being said, precipitation continues into tomorrow, Dan, and then, tapers off into tomorrow, and then we get more coming on Thursday.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
Thank you.
A whale of a tale coming up will show you how some BC homeowners are helping safeguard those big marine mammals. Stick around. The BC government is launching an independent review of its post-secondary education system. This follows a sharp drop in international enrollment and rising inflation for local students and institutions.
The impacts were sudden and severe, and that's why we have seen institutions having to make very, very difficult decisions across institutions.
The province says they've seen a 70% drop in international student visas coming to BC since a federal cap on new study visas last year. Recommendations are due next March. The Lheidli T'enneh First Nation in northern BC has banned the industrial use of glyphosate. It's a herbicide used to manage commercial forests, killing off aspen and birch to make way for coniferous trees. The ban covers the area around Prince George and the Robson Valley. Chief Darlene Logan says there are worries about what glyphosate is doing to plants and wildlife the nation uses.
When I was a kid, I'd go out and pick berries and just eat them. But now you pick them and there's a film. You have to wash your berries now. And that's generational berries, like, that have come with this film that you have to wash off. Like, You don't feel right going throw berries in your mouth like you used to.
The BC Forest Ministry says it's already scaling back the use of glyphosate. Well, imagine keeping an eye and an ear out for whales from your house. Well, some BC homeowners are doing just that to help protect marine mammals. Alana Kelly shows us the technology to detect the animals without disturbing them.
Oh, there it is! Oh my gosh!
The second she hears or sees one, she comes running.
Magical is the word that I can use to describe this.
But you don't have to be in person to experience it. Suzette Alvarez offered up a spot on her property to host a camera and microphone that records whales off the Sunshine Coast in real time.
We thought it was super cool, and we totally wanted to be involved.
The hydrophone is connected to the house and dropped into the ocean about 20 meters down, picking up all the noise underwater.
Noise transmits very, very well in water and about 4 to 5 times faster than in air. For killer whales, for humpback whales, sound is everything.
Raincoast Conservation Foundation uses the data to keep track of at-risk species.
For southern resident killer whales, which are endangered, noise pollution along with contaminants and a lack of prey availability are the 3 main culprits for their lack of an ability to recover. So it's a big deal.
The technology is the first of its kind in the area.
This is something that is quite needed there. This area is really undersampled acoustically.
Recently, 3 humpback whales have died and 1 was struck by a vessel on BC's coast.
They're innocent. We are in their waters. It's not the other way around.
We're down on the lower level, and I'll just hike over to where the camera system is on the bluffs.
She's not the only homeowner trying to do their part. Over on Pender Island, Chris Roper also offered up a spot on his property for an infrared camera.
We're really getting noisy here, and that's evident by the hydrophones. And we need to be much more respectful and space-giving to the marine mammals. And so this is just a bit of a payback from my side.
The Whale Spotter is operated through Saanich First Nations Marine Guardians program. Blows are detected and boat operators can be alerted in less than a minute.
And we developed an AI that in conjunction with those cameras can detect and classify those whale spouts and alert for whale presence. This technology exists and it provides protection for the animals.
Fisheries and Oceans Canada says each device is a helpful tool along with witnesses.
It's not like the magic wand. Don't use one or say there's one. Acoustic detection is the perfect tool. Thermal imaging is the perfect tool. Sighting is the perfect tool. No, it's not. It is a combination of all of those.
He adds that when marine mammals are detected in the area, vessels could be notified to reduce speeds.
I think it helps you to feel like they're part of you, part of your ecosystem, part of what you want to protect.
By people being able to see and hear the whales, she hopes they'll continue to care. Alana Kelly, CBC News, Half Moon Bay.
Winter has arrived at the top of Grouse Mountain, and Darius will tell you more in his BC-wide weather forecast coming up. Well, if you didn't know, the holidays are inching closer, but amid rising grocery prices, trade tensions, and economic uncertainty, among other things, it can be hard to get into the Christmas spirit. Add to that the pressure to give gifts and perhaps overindulge in food and booze, among other things. So with us now is Catherine White, a professor of marketing and behavioral science at UBC's Sutter School of Business, to look at what drives this holiday excess and how we can shift to a more mindful celebration of sorts. Catherine, what do you think drives people to overconsume during the holidays?
I think that during the holiday season, there's really a bit of a perfect storm of factors encouraging people to overconsume. So I think, first of all, there's a bunch of things happening in store. So right after Halloween, maybe even before, there's a bunch of things in store encouraging you to buy stuff. I also think there's a lot going on with online advertising. So be it social media, be it every time you hit a web page, you're getting sort of again and again, you're getting repeated, targeted, very sophisticated advertising. Mm-hmm. They know what you clicked on last week. They know what your preferences are. And then I think there's the sales, right? So it's Black Friday's coming up. You're seeing all these deals, and a lot of the deals, not only are they deals, but they're encouraging you to buy more than one item, often many items at a good price. And so I think all of those things together are creating a bit of a perfect storm for overconsumption.
Now, with that, we've also heard concerns, for example, from small businesses who are hoping that people will come into the stores, that will go online and shop, particularly since they've been feeling economic pressure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think the people probably are coming for the most part. I do think people at this time of year will wait for the sales. They're going to wait till Black Friday. They're going to wait till the week after and kind of see where things are at. I do think, it may not be as enthusiastic perhaps as previous years. We'll have to see. But I do think that people will come and there will be holiday shopping.
Mm-hmm. We have heard of this phrase, the growing online trend of de-influencing, allowing people to make a shift toward perhaps what we can call it authentic and intentional shopping habits. What do you make of that movement?
Yeah, so the idea is just like there's influencers and they're perhaps encouraging overconsumption. So they're showing the things that they bought, they're unboxing, they're showing their hauls. There's also these de-influencers, and they're kind of doing the opposite. They're kind of saying, here's how you could buy less, or here's how you could buy an alternative that might be more affordable. It might be better for the environment. And so I think this is sort of a counterpoint to some of the stuff that's going on in social media that's encouraging overconsumption. So it's sort of it's social influence as well, but it's encouraging less consumption.
And lastly, we appreciate your time. What other ways do you think people can do to celebrate this time of year, perhaps sustainably?
Mm-hmm. So if we're thinking about like holidays and gift giving, I think there's a few things we can think about. One of the big things that creates waste is actually packaging. So if you're thinking about Christmas gifts or holiday gifts, thinking about, how can you reduce the fact or the probability that things are just going to end up in the garbage, right? So can you use reusable packaging, reusable bags, maybe a jar people will use again, or wrap it in something that people will use again, like a reusable cookie tin or a tea towel, just something that people would use again. And then the other thing to think about is giving experiences rather than tangible gifts. So this could be something quite affordable. It could be, you give someone a coupon for, I will babysit for you, or I will take you for coffee, or I will walk your dog. Or it could be, something, I will take you to a hockey game. But experiences don't come with as much waste as do tangible gifts. So those are a couple of ways to think about reducing waste and overconsumption over the holidays.
Catherine White with Sauter's School of Business. We appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Canada is entering another RSV season. That respiratory illness can be especially dangerous for babies. Experts say, though, vaccine rollouts in recent years are making a big difference. Still, as health reporter Lauren Pelly explains, getting access to that vaccine can still be a challenge.
Hello, what can I get for you today?
This and this and this.
Katrina Bellevance's daughter is now happy and healthy, but when she was just 7 weeks old, she suddenly couldn't stop coughing.
I could tell that she was pulling, like indrawing underneath her ribs.
Her newborn was struggling to breathe.
We knew we had to get her to the hospital as soon as possible.
Bellevance's daughter was diagnosed with respiratory syncytial virus, or RSV. She spent 4 days on oxygen in the hospital.
RSV might not be a household term for many families, but it is the #1 cause of hospitalization year in, year out in children during their first year of life.
New data from multiple countries shows powerful monoclonal antibody shots targeting RSV are now keeping more babies out of hospital.
Over 80% effective at reducing the risk of emergency department visits due to RSV.
There are also vaccines available to mothers during pregnancy, which provide protection to newborns as well. This marks Canada's second season rolling out these tools, but many Canadians still don't have access. Most regions now offer publicly covered antibody shots for all babies, except for BC, Alberta, New Brunswick, and Newfoundland. Meanwhile, Ontario remains the only province that publicly funds both the shot for infants and the vaccine in pregnancy.
The logistics is a more complicated thing than the science, because the science is very positive.
This infectious disease physician says access and uptake could be better. He also worries anti-vaccine sentiment might remain a roadblock.
Political wins could make it harder for us to keep tiny babies out of the hospital.
I love this one.
In Alberta, where Bellevance lives, antibody shots are only being offered this year to high-risk infants. The province told CBC News a cost-effectiveness analysis is being done before next season.
I think it should be accessible.
Bellevance is hopeful more kids will get the protection her daughter didn't have. Lauren Pelly, CBC News, Toronto.
Thomas King has long been celebrated for his work as an Indigenous author in Canada. But King now says he's learned a shocking truth. He's not Indigenous. Griffin Yeager reports.
He built his career telling Indigenous stories, and now Thomas King, in an op-ed published by the Globe and Mail, says he is not Indigenous and has no Cherokee ancestry, despite believing he did all his life. The American Canadian received numerous awards in this country for writing about Indigenous life. Here he is in 1993 talking about his book, Green Grass, Running Water.
In Green Grass, Running Water, I'm looking at forming my world, that world that I see around more native models.
King maintains that he did not pretend to have Indigenous roots and thought it was true. He says he was 3 when his father left, and though his mother rarely spoke of him, she said he was part Cherokee. King says he'd heard rumors questioning his indigeneity, and this year made an effort to check. This brought him to the Tribal Alliance Against Frauds. That's an organization that investigates claims of Indigenous ancestry, which looked into his past and found no Cherokee heritage. In his Globe and Mail article, King writes, "At 82, I feel as though I've been ripped in half, a one-legged man in a two-legged story." Indigenous writer Jesse Wente took to his social media to share that this is a familiar hurt.
This should have been taken care of long ago, and I don't know, I can't speak to why people don't resolve these own issues if they're going to represent themselves in ways publicly.
Look out, Bob shouts. There are Indians flying into the skyscrapers and falling on the sidewalk. Got a Mohawk over here.
Others are saying people should take greater care in checking their roots before claiming Indigenous heritage.
It's easy to verify too. So, looking back on Thomas King's claims, perhaps he let it slide for too long and it had hardened.
King says that he hopes to keep supporting Indigenous causes, but he's not sure they'll want to stand beside him now. Griffin Yeager, CBC News, Toronto.
14 United Conservative MLAs are facing petitions that could send them back to the polls. As Aaron Collins explains, the push follows the Alberta government's use of the notwithstanding clause 4 times in less than a month.
Just over 2.5 years ago, Danielle Smith led her party to victory, but more than a third of her MLAs are now at risk of campaigning again. Albertans logging on and launching 14 recall petitions across the province.
I'm doing it for the right reasons, to keep my MLA accountable for actions that they've taken.
actions like using the notwithstanding clause to stop court challenges of laws.
They know that their actions are not morally or ethically appropriate, and that notwithstanding clause prevents any challenge against it.
The policy used to force teachers back to work, ending a province-wide strike. Getting a recall petition off the ground is one thing, but triggering the actual vote isn't easy. The petitioner has just 90 days to get 60% of voters from the last election to sign on. Alberta's recall legislation brought in by the United Conservative Party in 2021.
At the end of the day, ordinary Alberta voters are the boss in our democracy.
Overwhelmingly supported by UCP MLAs at the time, some targeted for recall are having second thoughts.
This is clearly a case of a left-wing activist group, Alberta Resistance, that is using recall, that is weaponizing it to force a general election.
Some political watchers aren't sold on recalls either.
It's, pushing for a do-over of the election rather than simply waiting for the next opportunity for everyone to go to the polls.
Turning any of these petitions into an actual by-election will take tens of thousands of signatures in just 3 months. A heavy lift, but the fact that so many Albertans are angry enough to even try is telling. Aaron Collins, CBC News, Calgary.
The White House is touting progress towards a ceasefire to end Russia's war on Ukraine. But as Chris Brown explains, key issues remain unresolved.
So I think we're getting very close to a deal. We'll
U.S. President Donald Trump is signaling progress towards ending the war, but that's not what it looks like on the ground, where at least 7 were killed when hundreds of Russian drones hit Ukraine's capital overnight.
This happens to my friends, this happens to my close friend, and this happens nearby me.
The White House posted that just a few delicate but not insurmountable details must be sorted out. But they appear to include the same intractable issues that have doomed previous proposals, including Russia's insistence that Ukraine turn over territory it hasn't conquered. Russia says those demands were part of the Putin-Trump summit in Anchorage, Alaska in August. And Russia's foreign minister reiterated they must be part of whatever proposal Trump's team brings to them. Despite suffering 1 million casualties, according to Britain's defense ministry, Vladimir Putin appears to believe he can outlast Ukraine, and he may be buoyed by tactical successes of late on the battlefield.
The initial draft of the 28-point plan included points that were not acceptable.
The widespread view in Europe and Ukraine is that Trump's proposal, which would also bar Ukraine from joining NATO and cap its military, heavily favored Russia.
9 months old.
Europe has largely been sidelined in these discussions. On Tuesday, 36 countries, including Canada, met virtually as part of the so-called Coalition of the Willing and implored the U.S. to intensify the pressure on Russia.
We are united in support for a just, dignified and lasting peace for Ukraine that would preserve its sovereignty and ensure its long-term security.
Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelensky may meet personally with Donald Trump to try to address the contentious questions of troops and territory. But Russia's Vladimir Putin has never budged from his maximalist demands aimed at diminishing Ukraine's sovereignty. Chris Brown, CBC News, London.
Coming up, we head to YVR where some guide dogs are being put through their plane paces. Stick around. Guide dogs go through very rigorous training to provide help to those who need them, assisting them wherever they go, even dog-unfriendly environments like airplanes. The CBC's Tanushi Bhatnagar went to YVR to meet with a pack of young trainees.
Rufus, Cora, and Toad are a part of a pack from Pacific Assistance Dog Society, taking a tour on an Air Canada airplane. They're learning exactly what air travel looks and feels like.
This is the first time that we've actually been on the aircraft with the dog.
Airports are loud, busy, and often chaotic for people. Now imagine it if you're a dog, 2 feet off the ground and supposed to guide a human through it. Cusack says that's why airport walkthroughs are an important part of service dog training. And this pack, the first of PAD's dogs to do so, is on its first walkthrough of gates, the bridge, and onto the airplane. Sniffing and sensing along the way, with lots of treats involved, of course.
Really, these dogs are getting exposure to the noise of the airport environment, all the people, all the textures of the carpet. They're really getting their 5 senses tested.
PAD says air travel is also challenging for people with disabilities, including those who have mobility, hearing, and post-traumatic stress disorder needs. But for a guide dog to do its job right, it first needs to be comfortable in its surroundings.
For our clients, often we just tell them to use lots of treats, reassure the dog, let them know that it's okay.
She says usually one field visit is enough for the dogs to get acquainted. But training will continue, including learning fitting into a tight space like a seat.
Rufus, down. Rufus, down.
As for Rufus, his first big dog job is just around the corner.
Rufus should be ready in the coming months. It's approximately 2.5 years old, so he will be placed with a client in the coming months.
PAD says they hope to do more aircraft trainings just like this one in the new year. YVR says this tour is part of their accessibility plan and it'll continue to work with PADs to make travel more inclusive. Tanushi Bhatnagar, CBC News, Vancouver.
The weather update is brought to you by BC Cancer Foundation. Give today to bring more progress and possibilities to patients and their families. Your donation changes everything.
Darius Madavi here with the BC-wide weather forecast, but we start with a volcano.
That's right. Big volcanic eruption happening, and very unusual in the fact that this volcano has been thought to have been extinct because it hasn't erupted in at least 10,000, maybe even 12,000 years. This is in northeastern Ethiopia, and that big plume of smoke that we're seeing there spreading across the strait there, across the water, over into India, disrupting flights there, now traveling over into Asia and into China, causing major flight disruptions there. This is the area that the volcano is in. It's a relatively, there's a few volcanoes in that area, but this one in particular not erupting for a very long time. And shield volcanoes like this don't usually put up those massive plumes of smoke that you can see here in this image from Copernicus. Very unusual event happening there. Something else to keep an eye on over the next couple of days, but fortunately, no injuries reported as a result. Now, let's turn our attention over here to BC, Canada as a whole, really, as we watch that cold spread down further and further south. Arctic air escaping because of disruption to the polar vortex. That's going to cause temperatures to drop in the interior and remain suppressed for at least the next week or so. So get ready for that. If we do take a look, you'll notice, again, on the coast, things don't look quite so chilly. But if we're in the interior, if you happen to be in the interior, expect temperatures to remain relatively suppressed, again, for quite a while. With that said, there will be some fluctuation, but do expect generally things will be closer to or below seasonal. I will say in the southern interior, we've been quite a bit above seasonal for the last couple weeks. And so a bit of a change back to normal, or at least close to it. In terms of precipitation, much less eventful there. A little bit of snow coming up, creeping up south of the border, up above the border, and then we're going to see some showers and flurries breaking into the interior, but for the most part, we're pretty dry. Some of those showers and flurries reaching the south coast by tomorrow evening into the overnight period into Thursday, but really not really high totals in terms of the amount we're getting, especially for a place like the west coast of the island. 40 millimeters isn't really much at all for those areas, especially because it's coming over a period of 2 or 3 days. In terms of snowfall, some more mountains do start to get that, so not just Whistler getting a big dump, but unfortunately not as big as the dump they got just this past weekend. For now, things are definitely a little bit drier than they have been. Now, Dan, a freezing drizzle is possible in Whistler tomorrow morning as well, I should mention. And here's our 5-day forecast. I think Environment Canada is calling for more rain happening this weekend. I think it'll probably be dry, but showers possible.
Okay, thanks very much.
Thank you.
remembering a legend on the ice and behind the microphone. We celebrate the life of Colleen Jones next.
Hi, I'm Amy Bell, and this is your CBC Inbox.
On Friday, December 5th, start a new holiday tradition at CBC's Make the Season Kind in support of local food banks across BC. Come down to the CBC Outdoor Plaza where we're celebrating all things kind, from karaoke to a 5K run, plus exclusive treats, selfies, and more. For all the details and to find out how you can give, visit cbc.ca/kindbc.
Canada has lost a shining titan of curling and broadcasting.
Former CBC reporter and anchor Colleen Jones has died at the age of 65 after a private battle with cancer. Her colleague Tom Murphy looks back on her remarkable life.
You could see it in the eyes, the intense competitor that was Colleen Jones. Her unwavering focus, willing her team to victory time and time again. Six-time national curling champion, two-time world champion.
It's just great to be on top. We worked really hard this year for this.
two-time Canadian mixed champion and world senior champion. One of the greatest curlers of all time.
Oh, I'm going faster.
And a trendsetter. She was among the first to push for higher fitness levels among all curlers. Barriers meant little to Jones, eventually coaching her own son's team at the Brier, the men's championship.
I always wanted to play in the Brier, oddly, so to be here as a coach is a dream come true.
A member of Canada's Sport Hall of Fame, she was a role model for young athletes.
It's given us friends and memories and a discipline that has stayed with us, and we're all very thankful for that, and we like to push that on to the next generation, the value of sport.
Colleen Patricia Jones.
A wife, a mother, a grandmother, and an intensely proud Nova Scotian, recognized with an Order of Canada for paving the way for women in sport and broadcasting.
Really just wanting to see what else I could do. How far can you push yourself, your mental capabilities, your technique, your ideas of trying to get better? To kind of just trying to keep chasing that was the journey I loved almost more than the winning.
As a sports commentator and CBC journalist, it was with her heart that Jones led, telling stories with empathy and a smile that put the interviewee at such ease.
Mabel Robinson's the kind of person everyone should meet.
The audience lived vicariously through her adventures.
I'm taking a break, not because I desperately need one.
You did it! You did it! As an author, she once wrote a book all about rising to the top, only to learn how easily it can all be taken away.
Have gratitude for today.
At a recent announcement for her Nova Scotia Sport Hall of Fame induction, a steely, positive determination even in the face of coping with cancer.
I think persevering in everything in life is just a character trait we all need to develop. That, you know, you might not like what happened yesterday. Today's a chance to make it better, and tomorrow hasn't even entered the world yet, so don't worry about tomorrow. Just be persevering today, be strong today.
True to form, a fighter to the end, the mark of a real champion, of living life to the fullest. Tom Murphy, CBC News, Halifax.
Brilliant. The Vancouver Whitecaps will hit the road for a chance to play for Major League Soccer's top prize. The Caps will play San Diego in California on Saturday in the MLS Western Conference Final. They won the semifinal on the weekend in that dramatic penalty shootout against LAFC in front of 54,000 fans at BC Place.
For local fans who can't or don't want to trek down to San Diego, the Caps are inviting them to a viewing party at BC Place on Saturday. The MLS Championship will be played on December 6th.
So how does the Whitecaps run compare to other local clubs?
Vancouver is a sports town, but we wanted to know, what is Vancouver's team?
Top current sport teams, I think, is, you mean all sport?
In Vancouver here.
In Vancouver, Whitecap.
Their top current sports team? Vancouver Canucks.
Vancouver Whitecaps.
Vancouver Canucks.
I'll say the Canucks.
If they sold out BC Place, it's got to be the Whitecaps, surely.
I think they're second best in the Western Conference right now. I like the Canucks too, but the Canucks right now aren't doing the best. I just like to watch a team that wins.
I really like hockey much more so than anything if I was to follow. So in following, regardless of price of tickets or if they're doing well or not, you should support your team no matter what.
When I used to go and watch the game, they'd only sell out the lower bowl, right? So during the regular season, now for a playoffs game, and they're selling out 50,000 plus arena, and I don't think the Canucks is selling out on a regular basis, is it?
They're so much fun to cheer for, and it's really nice to see everybody coming out with all the jerseys on and the city just going crazy, so it's fun to get on board with that.
I grew up hockey, so I'm a hockey fan. I got buddies that play pro, so yeah.
Yeah, I just went to the last game, a few days ago. That is very good. It's really nice. We fight for the very last minute. You know, the enemy, they have the new player that is from the Premier League, which is Son. So he was really good in the game, but we still fight. We still win.
You can support both.
You can. Look at that. Thanks for being with us tonight on CBC Vancouver News at 6 and The Rise. And the Golden Eyes.
There's another champion.
You can watch this newscast on CBC Gem, our free app, as well as on YouTube and our website, cbc.ca/BC.
And we will have your next local news at 11 o'clock right after the National. Good night.